Welcome to The Poppe Show, and today we have Sean Patrick O'Rourke, writer, director, actor, producer. What does this man not do? Sean Patrick O'Rourke, tell us about yourself. How did you get in this business?
Okay, well, it started very young. When I was a kid, I always just wanted to be in the spotlight, whether it was music or whether it was this or whether it was that.
Didn't your mother take you one time? Was it something in New York she took you to?
Right. My mom, we went to New York City. I was auditioning for the show In Living Color. But my mother's always been a great supporter. She's always been an inspiration to me, and she's worked damn hard to make me who I am today, which I'm grateful for.
Well, let's get into present day here.
Sure.
I know you've there's a lot involved when you want to be in this industry. It's a lot of hard work. You have to do a lot of different jobs if you really want to make it. You're an actor, writer, producer, all these things. Under the Dome, tell us about that, how you were involved.
Well, I was working on We're the Millers, and I've worked in all different facets. So I've done production and with the office staff in the production department. I've been in the locations department, and now I'm a Teamster driver. So you get a rapport with a lot of the department heads. And if you work hard and you give it your all, you don't call in sick, and you get the calls coming back. So I'm fortunate to work show after show after show and make my living full time. And
Very difficult.
It's not easy to do, and it took 7 years for me to get where I am now as far as the big shows. And it's been a blessing because when you work with the crew, whether it's in production or locations or the grip department or electric department, it helps me as an actor because when I'm on sets, I know what everyone does. A lot of times, it's overwhelming. Oh, sure.
Yeah, you go in, it's like, where am I?
And
a lot of work.
A lot of work. And we were also able to do the Port City PD. It was a cop show we did back in 2006 and 2007. And we did it as a podcast. We shot 9 episodes and we released it on the internet. But this was before YouTube.
And you got what? 4 million?
4 million downloads of the show.
Do you have any upcoming projects or Facebook pages or things? What other?
There's a show, we're doing a spec pilot called Family Business.
Family Business.
And we're doing Indiegogos and Kickstarters and things like that. But it's fun. It's about a guy who goes off to New York and tries to make it big and gets married, gets into the stock market and marketing and things like that, and then all of a sudden the market crashes and he loses everything. There's murders and killing, and that's what he was trying to escape. And it's a comedy, it's a dark comedy, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. That's something that I've got down the pipe, but I'm really looking forward to go back to work on Under the Dome. For season 2.
Coming back season 2, Under the Dome, and are we going to see you on crew again? I assume.
I
don't know, but
I got a 99% chance. I think I'll be back on crew with that show. If not, I keep auditioning, and maybe one of those days I might have a part on the show too. We'll never know. It's wishful thinking.
Yeah, well, you never know, and Under the Dome is great, and I think people have a tendency with most productions. If you're good, you're good. And you did a good job, I don't see why they wouldn't want to have you back. It's comfortable.
It's cyclical. They just bring you back.
Yeah, it works. It's like a machine then. It's like, okay, this all works. If it's not broken, why change it?
Exactly. I love what we do. We live, we breathe this, and I would never want to ever go back. For me personally, something new, something different every day, a different location.
It's exciting. It's live. It's alive. There's nothing else when you work in the film community. Because it's alive, that people are alive, that you could even compare it to. It makes the world seem boring once you do this.
It really does.
Yeah, you go out, oh, whoa, I went back on set, right, this ain't working, put me back on set. Sean, how can people reach you? Do you have any Facebook pages?
I have a Facebook page, but I also have an official Sean O'Rourke Facebook page, and you just search it under actor-director.
Sean O'Rourke, Sean Patrick O'Rourke. Patrick O'Rourke, we are here, and on The Poppe Show. Sean,
thank you so much for having me on The Poppe Show.
Looking forward to seeing you again, and I know we'll be doing a lot of other projects and skits, and so happy that we were able to come on to the show. And it's been very informative for other people who are trying to make it in this industry. And remember, it is about networking, do a good job, get involved, and here's a good example of where you can go. Anyway, we'll see you all again. We'll see you real soon on The Poppe Show. Thank you. Patrick O'Rourke. Okay, Patrick O'Rourke. Kane, yes, look. Patrick, oh my God, yes. Yes, Kane. Here we go. Thank you. Welcome back to The Poppe Show. And
We have with us Alfonso Terry. Say hi to our audience.
Hi everyone, my name is Alfonso Terry, and my pleasure to be here at the ThePoppeShow.
Wonderful. Alfonso, you have gone to school for acting, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
And would you tell us a little bit about the school and what was involved?
Well, I just finished and graduated from John Casablanca, and people there that teaching me, they're doing a great job. And I supposed to just do the acting, and all of a sudden I end up with modeling. They want me to do the rump, and I start walking sexy, and the teacher there said, you have another potential other than acting. And I said, huh? I said, I just want to be acting, not modeling, because I have a lower back problem. Of course, they don't know that. I didn't tell that.
See, that's part of acting. Excuse me, I don't have a problem. A natural, you're a natural.
Yes, I didn't tell them that, but you know, they didn't notice. Until now, they didn't know. They might know now. But Miss Jennifer Russell she's the one running the business, and
Okay.
She's been doing a great job.
Now, this acting school, is it in Raleigh? Is that
Yes,
what
sir. It's in Raleigh.
Wonderful. And you spent how many months? Wasn't it 7 months?
Well, I graduate actually, thank God, 7 months, yes.
7
But
months.
I still can go for 3 years and attend the workshop.
Well, I think it's very important to
Yes.
honing our craft and being involved. I know a lot of background actors, they get into it for other reasons and really aren't that serious as far as continuing and making it a career. But you seem to go on that extra step and you're very serious about this.
Yes, I am.
Now, tell us a little more about the school. It involved, because I myself am not quite that familiar with the whole process you went through, what was involved in your curriculum and things that you did going to school for acting and modeling?
And modeling, there, I am involved of, doing the dancing too, other
The
than
dancing?
modeling. Yes.
Well, tell us about the dancing.
I am, a member of the Film Association,
Okay.
and I am dancing traditional dance.
And, oh, I'm sorry, what would traditional dance be?
Well, traditional dance is dance like a Filipino dance.
Filipino.
And Hawaiian dance. Actually, last year I went to school also in Hawaii with my teacher from the Polynesian island.
Really?
Praise dance, yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes,
And those,
she took me over, six dancers, and I'm the only one she took with her in Hawaii.
really?
And we learned, how to use those instruments, the pau, and I'm still been doing that as part of Hawaiian, but it was like they make it like a praise song.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, and on the summertime we always do the Hawaiian dance.
And that is where they have the grass skirts and
Yes, sir.
a lot of, it seems like that's a lot of work to do.
Not really. It was just a practice.
A practice.
Makes you better.
I understand. Did you have any of the, I know they have the luau's and the poi and all that. Did you participate in any of the
Yes.
festive things that they do there?
Yes, I participate already in different.
Really?
Not too long ago, we went to ECU
Okay.
and then participate the luau too.
That's wonderful. Now, the Philippines in this sort of dance, tell us a little bit of, you're apparently from the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
And the traditional dance, what would be involved in
The
that?
traditional, each dance have meaning to it.
Okay.
Just like those bamboo.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you've seen those bamboo that they play.
Yes.
And then you have to step on it. You have to be good to step on it.
Okay.
I haven't done that, but I wish I could do it. I could do it. It's just that I'm too heavy now. But that's part of the traditional dance, and we call it salakut, which is with the hat.
Yes.
And we dance that too, and those are also part of the traditional. And it's so many dance that I can't remember what's the name, but that's pretty much what we're dancing here in a film association.
Well, that's wonderful. Now let's go back to the acting school and some of the courses and things that prepared you. Let's go on, talk a little more about the acting, and then we'll move on to some of the modeling. So give us a little bit of the process you went through and some of the things you've learned.
I've done improv and then
yes.
the basic speech and basic makeup, and for photography, I guess.
Of course.
And skincare.
Lord, that's
Yes, they teach us that the taking care of your skin, being in the film industry is, it's always very important.
It's
to
visual.
take care, to take care of your skin. Because you're always, on the close-up camera, and everybody's looking on your face, on your skin. So you have to put, your skin care and makeup. So
Well,
you
very
can
important.
look good on the camera.
Yes, well, you got to be prepared for many different
Prepared,
roles.
yes.
Have they prepared you feel, for many different types of roles? I know it's varied, not to be typecast or something, but where you can really stretch your ability or craft. Did they work with you in that capacity? All sorts of roles that they had you try for?
Yes, I tried already how to do the commercial.
Okay.
I tried one Nivea, and
Okay.
at first I kind of hesitate to do it because you have to do it on your own,
Yes.
and then you have to act it.
Oh,
Yeah, you have to make your own script, and you have to to act it right there on the camera. And I've done the monologue also, acting.
so in a monologue.
Yes.
How
And-
long, how long did they give you, say, when you had that
Oh.
little script and do it? Did they say do it right then, or you aren't prepared, or did they give
They
you?
give you only 15 seconds.
Incredible. Well, that shows if you really have the talent and it's, your imagination, and do it, okay, create your script and go do the part. And I think that's very smart, because with the improv, there's a lot of it sometimes. You'd be on the set and then, okay, well, you got to bring life to it, much
That's
more
right.
than a script. So create this part, and you live your part, and you do it.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's wonderful. Is there any way locally that someone can reach you, like a Facebook page or something? Anything you would like to tell our audience?
Yes, sir. They can reach me at the Facebook, and they can also email me at Pinaysue, PINAYSUE 76 @yahoo.com.
Well, wonderful. Alfonso, Terry, this has been absolutely wonderful. And
pleasure.
I've even learned a lot through this with the modeling, and I'm sure it's been very educational for our audience. And I'm wishing you the very best.
Thank you.
Well, listen, we'll see you soon on The Poppe Show.
The show.
Hey. What's the matter? Where's your smile?
Well, I've been thinking since last night, the whole situation about this marriage is not going to work anymore.
Why? What's
See?
the problem?
Well, can I be honest with you?
Yeah, I want you to be honest with me.
Well, I've been, thinking about my family lately, and I just put together that I'm having a problem with you for not, going home on time. And I've been thinking, my family in the Philippines is just, talking to me about going back home, and I miss them a lot, and I just want to go home. I mean, I'm feeling like I've been here many years already, and you never let me go home and visit my family, and I want to go home.
Well, I can understand that, but I have a very demanding job. We have a great house, and it's not free. It's just that sometimes, I have to stay a little later at my job, and, I'm just trying to provide for you for the best I can, but, the Philippines, I mean, that's half a world away, and it's a very, very expensive trip. And we just don't have that kind of extra money to be able to fly out there on a regular basis. And I can understand you missing your family, but when we decided to get married, you agreed to make a new life over here, and
Well,
what else, what more do you want from me?
well, remember I mentioned 3 years ago that I want to go home, and you said no because we are having a financial problem. But see, I think about that the whole time, and I want to work, but you don't want me to work. I want to save money, but how can I save money? I want to save money to just buy a plane ticket going to the Philippines, and just give me at least once a year or once in 2 years to go home. But you never let me. That's why I decided maybe you're just thinking about yourself and not thinking about me. That I am from the Philippines and I have family there. And they love me just like you love me. But,
Well, and I understand everything that you're saying, but there's a lot of people. A lot of people are struggling financially right now. We've had a very tough time with the economy the last 5 years, where people have lost their homes and things like that. I work very hard so that we don't lose our home. And so sometimes I'm not able to spend the amount of time with you that I'd like, and other times it's just that it costs thousands of dollars to be able to do a trip out to the Philippines and back, and unfortunately we don't have that kind of money.
I can understand that. But like I said, I'm just asking you. I just want to go home at least once a year, but you never let me. And every time I try to talk to you about it, you just keep ignoring me. You don't understand how I feel.
I'll be honest with you. Part of the reason, first of all, we can't afford for both of us to go back to the Philippines because I have my job here, I have my work, and I have to maintain that. And in all honesty, I'm afraid if you go back to the Philippines that you're not coming back.
Welcome to the Poppy Show, and today we have with us Robert Ashmore. Robert, say hello to our audience out here.
Hello, how are you doing today? Glad to be here.
Robert, you do background work, background
Yes.
artist?
Yes, I started earlier this year.
Okay, before we get into that, I see a lot of interesting things. I know you're well traveled. Give us a little history of who Robert really is.
Well, I came out here to Wilmington from Maui, Hawaii. I gave up Maui for Wilmington. And
Wow, Maui gave up. What was that again? I love that.
I gave up Maui for Wilmington.
I got to remember that.
And the reason is because the cost of living is a lot less here than it is in Hawaii. So it allowed me to retire early. And so I've been out here now for about 8.5 years.
Oh, well, wonderful.
Yeah.
Some of your travels, I believe you said you've been to Russia?
Yes, I've done more than 20 trips to Russia for a variety of reasons, usually as a tourist.
Wonderful.
And the first time I went was strictly, I was living on Maui and wanted to go someplace different. And I asked Delta, how far would my frequent flyer miles take me? And they said to Russia. I said, let's go. And so my first trip there was to Russia, and then I just enjoyed it so much. And once you get over there, it's very, very inexpensive compared to, because I'd go for 3 to 4 weeks at a time.
Really?
And it's a lot less expensive than trying to vacation in the U.S. So I've made, last count, 23 trips to either Russia or Ukraine over the years.
Well, that's wonderful. I love the Russian people. They're very artistic, very cultured.
Extremely cultured, especially with the classics. So I've had the opportunity to go to the Bolshoi Ballet in Moscow.
Oh, incredible.
And the Mariinsky Theater in St. Petersburg, and the Hermitage Museum. A couple of times there. It's so huge that you've got to go several times to see everything. And I've been to...
About the Hermitage.
How many? They have a lot of items. How long does it take if you were going to look at every item?
Well, I was told, and I haven't verified this, but I was told that if you look at every item that's in the Hermitage for 1 minute, it would take you 7.5 years to see everything.
Oh, that's just mind-boggling. I wonder how they catalog all that.
I really don't know. I know it's the national treasure, and I sort of joked about if they ever sold off the Hermitage, Russia would have no debt. You know.
Oh, that's incredible.
Because there you'll find Cezannes and original classical artists, and I saw a mummy that was like 4,000-year-old mummy from Egypt. So Peter the Great went all out to make St. Petersburg the showcase of all of Russia,
wow.
even more so than Moscow.
Incredible. Skin diving, you do that also, don't you? Is it skin diving, scuba diving?
Well, scuba diving, I got certified in college, and subsequently I wound up getting my boat and got my captain's license and my instructor's card. So for about 11 years I was in the dive industry, and I got to drive the boat, and I worked in off San Diego, and I worked in the Florida Keys and also Hawaii. And got about 3,000 dives under my belt, and so
amazing.
For many, many years, I ate very well because all the seafood that cost a lot to buy. I had lobster and I had scallops and abalone and great fish and whatever you can imagine, the delicacies on a dining room table, I had in my freezer on my boat.
Incredible. Are you a good cook, by the way, since you had all that food?
I've been told, I've been married before, I won't say how many times, but I was told by my wives that they were envious on how well I can cook, and they couldn't cook as well. I learned to cook when I was a child, because if I didn't learn how to cook, I didn't eat.
Oh.
Yeah, from my childhood.
Well, interesting, ladies. We have a very eligible bachelor in our community, too.
Yeah, I've been, it took me a few times to learn that it takes more than a pretty woman to make a great marriage. And so I've had pretty women that I was married to, but so I've been now about 17 years I've been single. So I'm looking,
Oh. Well, you're very much in shape, attractive man. I'm sure you're not going to have any problems. Certainly after being on the Poppy Show and the interviews here.
Well,
I'm
that's sure.
We're going to get the information out there.
Okay, great.
Okay, background. You're here. You're a background artist, extra. And how did you get involved in that?
Well, by accident initially, I belonged to a singles club that's locally here in Wilmington. And at one of our events, I met a woman, and she was a production assistant. And we started talking one night and everything else. And I'd been looking for a part-time job. So she mentioned about the background work, and I said, well, let me check into it. So I got a couple of days on Revolution, and as I say, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And then after that was Under the Dome, and as I say, the rest is history. And I've worked on about a dozen productions since April.
Incredible. And busy guy.
About 45 days altogether, so it was just a great part-time job.
I think we worked together. There was a fire scene. Kevin Sizemore?
Right.
That one, that was really an incredible scene. Can you go tell us a little bit about that? In fact, Kevin's coming back here to do some interviews or be in Wilmington shortly.
Yeah, that was the fire scene where, the little background of the scene is when the preacher went in there trying to find some documents that were, I guess, were damaging to him, and started a fire. And so I was part of the bucket brigade trying to put the fire out, and that actually was a 4-day shoot. And so it was just long days, cold days, and busy days, but so much fun. And one of the great things that I've learned about background work is the number of new friends that you make, people that you never actually meet otherwise. Mm-hmm. And so my Facebook page has probably doubled since, I'm up to almost 400 now in Facebook friends. So that is really part of the pay, I think, is the friendships that you make.
I believe that also. It becomes a family, and it is a community, and you develop very close relationships in this community when you're involved in film. And I don't see that in other sorts of businesses or things you get involved, not the close relationships that you develop through our film community here locally.
You also got the new DVDs of Under the Dome, and there are, everybody, letting you know, there are deleted scenes that people who did background work will be able to see yourselves in. And you found one, didn't you, Robert?
I did. It was actually, it was probably in Under the Dome my favorite scene, and it was involving a confrontation between Big Jim, played by Dean Norris, and Ollie, played by, I can't remember his name now, his actual name. But anyway, the two bad guys were butting heads, and I happened to be standing in the right place at the right time, so I got a lot of screen time on it. And then as the scene was winding up, Ollie was doing a retreat. He had basically been accused of stealing propane and doing wrong and stuff like that. And as he was making his exit, I was sort of standing in his way, and he gave me a shove. And Angie Schumann was next to me, and I almost knocked her over. He gave me a pretty good shove, but it's such a great exit. And then the director said, "Now, when he does that, give him a really dirty look." So on the DVD, it shows me just frowning at him as he goes by, and then it was cut. So.
And you made Variety, didn't you, with Dean Norris?
I did. Again, they were doing an article on Variety about how Under the Dome was such a big hit for CBS. And again, I just happened to be standing in the right place because the camera was focused on Dean Norris, Big Jim, and I was standing off his right shoulder, and there I was, and so I got to be seen nationally.
Oh, that's incredible.
That was cool.
Well, that's exciting, being in Variety, and where do you get that sort of opportunity?
Right, and I from talking to a few of my fellow background friends, there's a little jealousy there that some have been involved for a few years and never had that opportunity. And I think at that point in time, I was maybe 2 to 3 months in the background business, and
you nailed it.
And I nailed it right off the bat,
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it was great.
Robert Ashmore, for people who'd like to get in contact with you, how can they reach you?
Well, I am on Facebook under my name, Robert Ashmore, and I can also be reached by email, which is cowboy444@yahoo.com, and that all has meaning to it. So.
Oh, I know, the cowboy.
The cowboy, yes, yeah. My nickname is Captain Cowboy.
Oh, wonderful.
Because there was a young lady that asked me they said, "Hey, cowboy, what kind of work do you do?" And I said, "I'm a boat captain and scuba instructor." She says, "Oh, you're a captain and a cowboy?"
Yeah.
"I'm going to call you Captain Cowboy." And that was over 25 years ago, and that's my nickname.
Wonderful.
So
it's been great having Captain Cowboy here, and look him up with his email address and get in some dancing and dining and have a good time with Robert Ashmore. Thank you.
thank you.